Hi everyone, it's Jay here and these are the manga and manhwa releases for the second half of June. Gonna start with the Kodansha releases. Sailor Moon Naoko Takeuchi Collection Volume 11. A year before meeting Sailor Moon and her destiny as a member of the Sailor Guardians, Minako was the first hero to find her calling. Join Minako's adventures before her debut as Sailor Venus in a new, affordable edition. And we are also getting Volume 12. Miracles have returned to modern Tokyo, and Minako must use her powers to stop the Dark Agency, which is trying to manipulate Japan's entertainment industry and enslave the population. A new series called Senpai is an Otokonoko, My Cross-Dressing Classmate. This webtoon follows a cheerful high school girl called Saki, who confesses her love to a pretty upperclassman, only to find out her senpai is actually a cross-dressing boy. But Saki has competition for the heart of her daring classmates in the form of Hanaoka's devoted best friend. Shout Loud My Heart, college student Gen plays guitar in a rock band called Eve. At a gig one night, he meets a man named Mike. Mike's the kind of person who has no trouble saying what's on his mind, and Gen soon finds himself captivated by this smooth, handsome voice. The next day, the two meet again when they realise they go to the same college. Be it on stage or in casual conversation, Gen finds himself more and more captivated by Mike's voice. The more time the two spend together, the more Gen realises it's more than just Mike's voice he's attracted to. Volume 5, The Ghost in the Shell, The Human Algorithm. Togusa and Tsunagi set out for Africa to investigate a poisoning death at the Japanese consulate in the Sahel Special Economic Zone. Using their honeymoon as a cover, the two trace the black mamba snake venom used in the assassination to an oasis outside the zone that's part of Gili tribal lands. While they're gone, a coup rocks the Madisi Republic that governs Sahel, and General Mosey seizes control. What does snake venom have to do with a civil war rising from the baked desert sands? That question is the key to Togusa breaking the case. Twilight Out of Focus box set. It contains volumes 1 through 4 in a beautiful collector's edition box set. As an added bonus, each box set comes with a special booklet featuring exclusive cover art, never before translated manga pages, and gorgeous full-colour illustrations. Bless Volume 5. When the instructors at Mirror propose a challenge with a highly coveted career-making prize, friendly rivalry turns into cutthroat competition. Aya focuses on his own vision, avoiding the toxic environment around him. However, jealousy is impossible to ignore when the celebrity makeup artist, Daya, is playing favourites. Can Aya and Jun's loyalty survive Daya's mind games? Blue Lock Volume 19. Despite his frustration at being benched, Isagi resolves to analyse every second of the match so he can draw level with the evolved Bachira and Kunigami. But wait, no Noah's coming onto the field. What follows is a truly epic clash of soccer gods and monsters, one that might even bring Isagi off the bench. Shangri-La Frontier Volume 17. Despite having been taken to the limit in her overtime match against Sunraku, Sylvie remains undaunted and without fatigue. Against such a beast, even with everything pretty much going as planned, Kei must pray for some luck to have any hope of eking out a victory. Snegurochka of the Spring Breeze. I think I've pronounced that wrong, sorry. This is the winner of the Excellence Award in Manga at the 2014 Japan Media Arts Festival. It is a deeply researched political drama from the creator of Blade of the Immortal, set in the frigid fringes of the Soviet Union of the 1930s. Bielka, Squirrel, a beautiful young woman in a wheelchair, and her taciturn companion, Shchenok, Puppy, must hide the truth of their identities as they navigate the fraught political climate and harsh landscape of the Soviet Union of the 1930s on a highly secret and terribly personal mission. From Yen Press, Aria of the Beech Forest Volume 3. Following an awful dispute with her closest friend, Gwyn, she finally learns a truth that will change everything. In this final volume, she must choose to either muster up the courage to embrace her future with both arms, or continue cowering behind the trees in her secluded world. Dark Moon the Blood Altar Volume 7. In the last volume of the series, the final showdown has begun, and without Suha's powers to aid them, Heli and his brothers find themselves fighting a losing battle. Finding Camellia Volume 4. Camellia makes it back to the manor safe and sound after a successful undercover mission, followed by Kieran's long-awaited and celebrated return to the capital. Peace doesn't last long for them, however, as rising tensions between the Kayan Empire and Gaor Kingdom push Prince Ian to make an offer, or rather a threat, that House Bale cannot ignore. To make things more complicated, when Lord Cloud realises he harbours feelings for Camillus, Lady Marilyn's suspicions reach a breaking point. Can Camellia find a way to keep her identity safe, or will the political climate of this dog-eat-dog world consume her? I Tamed My Ex-Husband's Mad Dog Volume 3. Reinhardt decides to put her full trust in Wilhelm, the boy who's given her so much, and tell him the truth of his lineage, just for him to reveal that not only does he already know, but he's in love with her. There is little time to dwell on the revelations, however, as Reinhardt and Wilhelm arrive at the capital to face the Imperial family head-on. I'm Here Beside You Volume 2. It's like a dream come true. Ever since Ibuki revealed to his crush, Baba, that he experienced a time leap, they've grown closer than ever. Not only does Baba believe him, but the two have even teamed up to stop the murder of Baba's sister. When the fated day passes without incident, Ibuki realises the timeline has changed. To make matters worse, Baba has started to keep his distance again. Has Ibuki lost his trust? Is Baba's sister really safe? Anxious about the uncertain future, will Ibuki be able to protect his new life, or is history destined to repeat itself? Men of the Harem Volume 3. Maintaining harmony within the harem and doling out equal affection to all her consorts is hard enough for the emperor as it is. But with physical fights breaking out, palace life takes a turn for the complicated. All Latil wants is some peace and quiet to investigate her father's killer. So how did she end up with a naked sonort in her chambers? My Secretly Hot Husband Volume 3. Letitia's plan to provoke Belair works like a charm, but what can a mere human do against a bona fide greater devil? As it turns out, quite a lot. Duke Belair may be the most wicked fiend around these parts, but Letitia comes from a far more hellish environment, modern capitalist society. From cryptocurrency fraud to phishing scams, the devil of wealth is about to experience horrors beyond his worst nightmares. That sounds funny. Not So Wicked Stepmom Volume 6. The whole palace is buzzing with excitement about the king and queen's improved relationship. Well, everyone except the couple themselves. As both Abigail and Sabrian struggle with their own burgeoning feelings, the two turn to their resident magic mirror for help. Will Verité's efforts be enough to keep the couple together, or will their fear and lack of communication tear them apart? Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint Volume 7. As the War of the Kings rages on, all of Seoul turns into a massive battlefield where historical rulers of Korea act through their chosen incarnations to regain the power and glory they once held. And at the centre of it all is Dokja, who, as the sole reader of TWSA, knows that this conflict will only lead to an irreversible disaster for all. To prevent a bad ending, he must win the right to the absolute throne, even if it means facing Junghyuk in a one-on-one brawl. A new series called Radio Storm? Are love and salvation possible at the end of the world? For War Academy student Sak, they're nothing more than pipe dreams. Bullied by his peers for his seemingly useless powers, Sak can only focus on survival. But when a deadly plague compromises the haven of his school, fantasy suddenly starts looking a whole lot more like reality. To keep safe, Sak must find his caller, a person who amplifies his ability and who he'll feel an innate, deep sense of affection for. The only problem, when he finally meets his stranger, he's convinced Sak has lost his mind. Spice and Wolf Collector's Edition Volume 1. Join travelling merchant Kraft Lawrence and Holo the Wise Wolf on their epic tale of love and adventure. With their witty banter, clever negotiations, and unexpected romance, this is one journey you won't want to miss. Plus, this special collector's edition packs 2 manga volumes into one. A new series called The 13th Footprint. After Toya and Haru's son, Ao, was released from the hospital, The Togawa family was ready for a fresh start in their picturesque new home. But the life Toya envisioned for his family is turned upside down when mysterious postcards begin to appear. No sender, no return address, just a note describing an event that will happen in the future. Following the prophetic cards, Toya embarks on an adventure to help those in need, keep his family safe, and unravel the mystery before disaster catches up with them. Tougen Anki, Legend of the Cursed Blood Volume 3. A trip to Kyoto to fight Momotaro would normally be a dream come true for Shiki. Too bad Professor Mudano stuck him on the back line, as far away from the fight as it gets. Up on the surface, Tsubakiri continues his rampage and gruesome experimentation on the Oni forces at the front line. Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, Volume 1. Alisa Mikhailovna Kujo is Seirei Private Academy's solitary princess, a half-Russian beauty who treats everyone with an ice-cold attitude. But there is one exception. Masachika Kuze, her nerdy classmate, is the only one who gets to call her by her nickname, Alia. And when she mutters in Russian under her breath, pretending that she's telling him off, she's actually gushing over how cute he is. It's a good thing Masachika doesn't speak Russian. After all, if he was secretly a Russian expert who could understand every embarrassing flirty line coming out of her mouth, that'd be the worst, wouldn't it? Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki's Conjecture, Volume 6. Professor Akira's scary story party became a strange tale itself when a ghostly voice was caught on the recording equipment. Now it falls to the Professor and Fukamachi to resolve the mystery of the Night of 100 Horrors. Bride of the Barrier Master Volume 4. Hana is approached by Sai, her old servant from the Ichise home, with a desperate plea to save Hazuki from the fate their parents have forced upon her. Ever since Hana left the family, her relationship with her twin has been frayed, and getting involved could mean sacrificing her new life of freedom. Bungo Stray Dogs 1 Volume 11. Higuchi gets in touch with her creative side as she tries her hand at writing haiku. Chuya elicits concern as he's seen talking to inanimate objects, and Daizai has a totally serious conversation with his dark-era buddies about what it truly means to apologise. Even the bad guys are getting into the gag manga groove. Volume 6 of Coffee Moon. Stephanie draws nearer to the centre of the social service system in this final volume of the series. A new series called Darasan of Reiwa. A landslide crushes a razor wire fence and buries a no trespassing sign, causing two young siblings to venture into a dark world in which they do not belong. When a long horrid shadow rears up to meet them, she questions if they're going to freak out at her monstrous visage. And that's how they meet Darasan. Daughter of the Emperor Volume 11. Almost as soon as Ria and her companions cross the border into Bureti, her mother's homeland, the party finds themselves in prison. Between being reunited with family she never knew existed, and then getting kidnapped by her uncle, Ria has a lot going on in this volume. Friday at the Atelier Volume 4. Tamaki is offered some much needed advice and support in this final volume of the series. Handyman Saito in Another World Volume 7. Life finally returns to normal, but Saito's party faces an even greater foe, poverty. Determined to make some extra cash for the team, Railza goes job hunting and stumbles upon a shady innkeeper who puts her to work at a brothel. What's more, her first customer is none other than Saito. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew spends their days playing games and sharing precious moments together. Honey Lemon Soda Volume 9. With newfound confidence, Uka is ready to tackle her second year of high school with a spring in her step. She makes the perfect pal in Nana Iwakawa, a clumsy and shy but sweet girl who idolizes Uka for how far she's come. But as it turns out, Nano is in Kai's class, and her similarities to Uka haven't gone unnoticed by their peers, especially since Nano seems to be getting awfully close to him. Could there be more to Nano's behaviour than meets the eye? Imitation Volume 6. Vacation in Japan with Ryok was a dream come true for Maha, but reality comes crashing down when the couple returns home to find that their secret has been compromised. This could be the end of Maha's hard-earned career, but Ryok is willing to do anything and everything to protect the girl he loves, even if it means bending to his family's will. In Another World with My Smartphone Volume 14. As 13,169 phrase appear, Toya starts gearing up for a battle of epic proportions and panicking. How can they possibly take out so many enemies? Ende has a clever solution, but he's not going to hand it over for free. Isekai Samurai Volume 1. As the dangerous Warring States period draws to a close, the unparalleled warrior Ginkgo hungers for a glorious death at the hands of a foe who outclasses her. Above all else, she yearns to die with her samurai pride intact, so after years of fruitless wandering, Ginkgo desperately prays to the Buddha in a last-ditch effort to attain what she seeks. When she next opens her eyes, however, she finds herself in the midst of a battle with a dragon looming overhead in an entirely different world. Amid a strange new land chock full of monsters to challenge, will Ginkgo meet her match? Kakegurui Volume 18. In Yumeko's past, the battle between her sister and aunt for the Jabami name reaches its climax, and as the story returns to the present, what new stage awaits the students of Hyako Academy? Lycoris Recoil Volume 3. After challenging Prince Levi in an attempt to secure more funding for Belzerg's defense, Kazuma and Iris are taking down everything he can throw at them. It's hard to stop when they're on such a roll, so the two continue to challenge him again and again. But is Levi really going to let them take him for all he's worth? No Longer Heroine Volume 9. Hattori's furious when she finds out that Runa and Hiromitsu kissed, and that he even tried to hide it from her. To top it off, she sees the two together again right after she's decided to let it go, and things take a turn for the worse. Riviere and the Land of Prayer Volume 3. In Riviere's biggest case yet, with the Queen of Kururenelvia under a curse, will it all end well in this series finale being released on the 24th of June? The Colour of the End Volume 2. As Saya continues to pick through the ruins of civilization, a single robot appears before her. The library it manages may be bereft of visitors, but it devotes itself to its task out of respect for the late librarian's wishes. In the face of such loyalty, the girl can't help but ponder her own seemingly endless mission. Are there still any survivors left for her to find? The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess, Volume 12. The self-indulgent fantasy romance fic Konoha Sato wrote as a teenager was supposed to feature her as its main character. However, she seems fated to be its most dastardly villainess instead. But in order to save all the characters she holds dear, she must restore the original plotline, which means stoking the hatred of her faithful assassin butler, Sol, by reminding him of the incident that sparked his loathing for the villainess. The Heroic Tale of the Villainous Prince Volume 1. With his raven locks and ebony eyes, Prince Alfred is the cursed child of his kingdom, gladly shunned as a person of ill omen. One day, Alfred happens upon the scene of his older brother, Crown Prince Leor, publicly breaking off his engagement to his fiancée, Charlotte. Although not exactly a knight in shining armour, Alfred decides to save the damsel in distress anyway by taking advantage of his villainous reputation. Little did he know that single act would turn the wheel of fate and change his destiny. The Saga of Tanya the Evil, Volume 26. The battle between the Empire and the Russi Federation begins. Tanya, dispatched to the east, ought to be disrupting the foe's front lines, but instead she's sighted over Moscow, the enemy capital. Meanwhile, the Commonwealth, which has been keeping a close eye on the war on the continent, gradually rolls into the conflict. Its volunteer army flanks the Empire, and among their ranks is Mary Sue, a promising mage, and the child of the Regadonian war hero Colonel Anson Sue, who Tanya killed. Will Tanya at last meet her match in magical combat? The Three-Body Problem Volume 3. The entire universe will flicker for you. This grand promise, or perhaps a threat, leads Wang Miao to his next destination, an observation centre where he can tune into the cosmic microwave background. Along the way he meets Yang Dong's mother, a former physicist with a storied past. Is she merely a kind, elderly woman who's gone through tough times, or are there secrets she's kept hidden away? Victoria of Many Faces Volume 2. After the commotion at the soiree, Victoria has been keeping her head down in hope that the royal family will give up looking for the mysterious woman in purple. Not to worry though, because between frequent dates with the captain, training Nonna, making friends at their local pub, and her new tutoring job, the Kingdom of Ashbury's feeling more like home every day. However, her accomplishments have attracted just as much scrutiny as her secrets, piquing the curiosity of those she'd prefer didn't notice her. From Titan Comics, Outsiders Volume 1. This is set in a world where vampires and werewolves clash in the shadows, and humans unravel the secrets of an ancient feud. Emma is a high school student full of energy and determination. She embarks on a perilous path that will challenge her beliefs and reshape her destiny. She finds out that she possesses special abilities, but will these same gifts attract unwanted attention? Dope Man Volume 2. The doping war has escalated as the dope men grow stronger and their power more destructive and harder to contain. As Japan becomes completely unrecognizable, the conflict between the authorities and the dope men reaches new heights. Atom the Beginning Volume 11. The team returns from their adventures in Vietnam, where they were able to uncover clues about the robot boy from the future. But before things can settle, an unexpected visitor disrupts the harmony. Someone that the team does not get along with turns up, out of the blue, at Lab 7. Their appearance leads to some unsettling revelations that could bring them even closer to the truth about the robot boy. But at what cost? A new series called Yan, winner of the Golden Comics Awards and a standout of Taiwan's rising comic scene, Yan is a haunting, genre-bending journey for master storyteller Chang Sheng, creator of Old Man and the Hidden Level. The tale unfolds across eras, starting with a tragedy in the richly detailed world of late 20th century Taiwan, and then stepping into the present day and hinting at the foreboding rise of a dystopian tomorrow. Declared dead in prison records, Yan mysteriously returns to Taipei, reigniting the investigation into a decades-old massacre, her own family's. From Ablaze Comics, Centaurs Volume 4. After a long struggle, centaurs and humans tentatively coexist once again. Tanikaze is assured of his place in the world. He knows why he is here. Gonta, on the other hand, toils in search of the right path for his life. The two have an extremely strong bond, but will they be able to preserve this bond as they struggle with their seemingly diverging futures? Petals of Reincarnation Omnibus Volume 1. What if you could use skills from previous lives? Imagine the skills of a legendary swordmaster, or the quick mental calculations of a prominent mathematician, facing off against the murderous techniques of a serial killer. Newton, Einstein, Miyamoto Musashi, the talents of the most famous and infamous people in history are back to change the world once again. The story follows Toya Senji, a woefully ordinary student who can't escape the shadow of his talented older brother. As he discovers the world of returners through his unusual classmate Haito LaBouffe, with new possibilities at his feet, where will Toya's thirst for recognition take him? And what conflicts exist amongst the returners? This omnibus contains volumes 1 and 2. Yan Volume 1. From Viz Media, Chojin X Volume 9. Tokyo's recent side quest to rescue Palmer turns out to have been worth the effort when she's able to help them with a little problem. Yamato Mori needs to interrogate the drug dealer who's been pushing Zola's opium in Old Market, but he was hacked to pieces right in front of them. But what's a little death when a zombie maker owes you a favour? Dogs Red Volume 2. As the school year comes to a close, it's time for the powerhouse Oinokami High ice hockey team to win the championship once again. But have they lost their edge? When the new school year starts, Ro and his friends from Miyamori enter Oinokami High School. They decide to try out for the hockey team, but before they can join, they have to survive a grueling, day-long trial under the eye of the eccentric coach Nihei. Full Night Volume 5. The mobile Spiriflore's very existence spawns a fierce debate about the merits and dangers of transfloration, splitting the world in two. Having devoted their lives to Transflora Medical, Kamiya and Horai strive to expose the ulterior motive behind the anti-transfloration protests, even as they question whether they are on the right side of the fight. Haikyuu 3-in-1 Volume 5. In the spring tournament, Karasuno's first opponent is Jozenji, an unorthodox team of partiers that leaves Karasuno baffled about how to counter them. And when Karasuno's captain, Daichi, is injured, Chikara Enoshita steps up to replace him. Will this often overlooked team member be able to bring the team to the semi-finals? Volume 5 of Heartgear. Roe continues her journey to Heavenland under the protection of Chrome and Rock, but her very existence has put Heavenland in a difficult position. Unable to reach an agreement, the Heavenland administrators dispatch 2 teams to intercept the girl, the donkeys, who they've assigned to welcome her, and the elephants, who have been ordered to eliminate her and her comrades. The race is on to find out which group will decide Roe's fate. Insomniacs After School, Volume 10. Magari is back, full of energy and ready for anything. As the holiday season approaches, she and Nakami prepare to spend their first Christmas together. Maggie Lumiere Magical Girls Inc. Volume 8. When President Shigemoto points out that the Kai outbreak couldn't have been natural, someone did it on purpose, the magical girls and their stalwart co-workers race to discover just who this new foe is. Mission Yozakura Family Volume 17. Momo brainwashes Futaba and Shinzo, leaving the Spy Association HQ with both of them in tow. Swearing to get them back, the remaining siblings begin to prepare. Matsumi, hoping to charge everybody's batteries for the upcoming battle, gets Taio's help making the Yozakura family's secret recipe for black cherry blossom noodles. Undead Unlocked Volume 20. The Union members enjoy their student lives, but when it appears that they have successfully managed to protect Chikara's peaceful days, a UMA crashes their graduation ceremony. As Fuko and the others do battle with the UMA threat, Chikara faces 2 choices: lead a regular life or join the superpowered organisation. Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead Volume 17. Despite the zombie pandemic, Star W's president, Ukaji, is chasing his dreams of bringing humanity to the stars. With the company's first unmanned shuttle launch imminent, the gang can't help but get swept up in his dramatic stories about the possibilities that space holds. Till zombies show up, that is. And that gives Akira and the gang an idea that is out of this world. A new series called Dear Anemone. 18-year-old Gaku thinks he's taking a fun summer trip to the Galapagos Islands, but soon finds out it comes at a steep price, possibly his life. Gaku's adventure turns into pure terror when a mysterious plant creature takes over his body, and that's just the start of the horrors. Fist of the North Star Volume 17. Kenshiro and Ryu have reached the land of Sava, a kingdom which is under attack from barbarians, and even worse, its royal family is weakened by internal strife. King Assam is ill and dying, and his 3 sons now squabble for the throne. Kenshiro might be able to knock some sense into the competing brothers, but he'd better do it quickly. Something strange is happening in the neighbouring kingdom of Blanca, and Sava has more to worry about than just the barbarians. My Name is Shingo, the Perfect Edition Volume 5. As the robot Monroe grows ever more intelligent and self-aware, so too does his obsession with finding Satoru and Marin, the children who brought him into this world. After a harrowing escape from Japan, Monroe sets sail for England, where Marin is forced into one horrifying situation after another by an obsessive acquaintance as she struggles to reconnect with the memories she has lost. From Seven Seas Entertainment, Volume 3 of The New Recruit. Will ugly office politics threaten to keep romance from blossoming in this series finale? After School Etude, Volume 3. Minabe is the type to give everything his all, whether it be his daily ballet practices or his relationship with Ichinomiya, an upperclassman with an awe-inspiring gift for dance. When their friend Takarai posts the pas de deux the couple dance to the internet, an American ballet troupe comes knocking at their door, looking to recruit them. Soon the 2 young men are thrust into a new environment, and while they might be on the same page as lovers, as dancers they still need to get in the same groove. Love is an Illusion Volume 7. Haesung and Dojin's relationship may be rock solid, but that doesn't mean a few shake-ups can't happen from time to time. The drama hasn't completely disappeared from their lives just yet. Even their friends aren't immune. How will Kyungsoo handle meeting Chowon's toxic family, who can't fathom why Chowon would date a beta of all people? Last Game Volume 9. Both Yanagi and Kujo finally have the same goal, to confess their love to each other. The problem is that they're still absolutely convinced the other will reject them. How many intimate moments will it take until the duo realise their hearts are beating to the same rhythm? Maybe a trip to Yanagi's family ryokan will help. My Stepmother and Stepsisters Aren't Wicked Volume 6. Just when Mia thinks things are about to calm down and return to normal, she learns that the student council, including its ultra-strict president, have set their sights on her. Not only that, but it seems the eldest stepsister Marika has her own bone to pick with them. Seventh time loop, the villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy, Volume 7. Riche turns her attention to the next crisis, namely annulling her engagement so she and Arnold can be married. To accomplish this, Riche travels to the Grand Basilica in the Holy Kingdom of Domina and reunites with Milia, the young woman she served during her life as a maid. However, something has changed about her former charge, and whispers of death and curses linger in the air. Does this latest reunion spell disaster for Riche and Arnold? A new series called Cats with Jobs. Ever wondered what it would be like if your cat had to get a job? The cats in this book do every kind of occupation you can imagine, and they do it just the way they like. Feline chefs, dentists, wrestlers, detectives, opera singers, and much more await in this hilarious full-colour collection. Volume 1 also includes a set of stickers featuring some of the working cats. SHWD, the complete Yuri collection. The entire 3-volume series of the manga is here in this single omnibus. It's a Yuri tale about 2 special agent women fighting supernatural horrors. In a world overrun by terrifying creatures born from biological weapons, only one organisation stands between safety and chaos. The SHWD, Special Hazardous Waste Disposal. Their mission? Eliminate the deadly beasts known as Dynamis. New recruit Koga, the second woman to join the male-dominated Tokyo branch, is ready to flex her muscles and prove she can handle the job. She's teamed with another woman, Sawada, a hardened veteran whose sharp mind complements Koga's raw power. But while sparks fly between them, there's little room for romance when every mission could be their last. Sweet Heat Before Falling in Love, the CEO and his fated Amiga, Volume 1. To dodge relentless alpha suitors, Amiga office worker Uiko hides behind the facade of a beta. But when an unexpected heat hits, she seeks refuge, where she is paired with a mysterious masked alpha. But back at the office, she starts to suspect her irresistible mystery man might be much closer than she realised. Don't Call It Mystery, Volumes 13 to 14. When a family friend of Detective Furumitsu dies in a mysterious accident, the young woman returns to her hometown of Toyama to investigate, and just for good measure, she brings Totono with her. While there, Furumitsu gets a call from her boss, who tells her that police stations around the country are receiving anonymous messages warning of a serial killer in Toyama. Royal Tailor, Clothier to the Crown, Volume 4. Hannah, a human woman who works as a royal tailor, has been entrusted with finding out who is trying to kill the king, and if any of his wives are in on it. In this one, acting on the orders of one of the king's wives, Tien, Hannah is soon sent to help rebuild a village that has been ravaged by landslides. Whilst there, she encounters an eccentric princess from the eastern lands. Can Hannah use her sewing skills to get close to this mysterious stranger? Himegasaki Sakurako is a Hot Mess Volume 1. A rom-com manga about the rejected childhood best friend who is forced to watch her friend Natsuki fall for another girl. Can Himegasaki stop getting into embarrassing situations and finally land the boy of her dreams? Imaginary Volume 3. The physical distance between Mai and Tasuku has done nothing to weaken their feelings for each other. In fact, those feelings are only growing stronger. Their emotional rollercoaster has only just begun, but with the support of their friends, maybe they can muster up the courage to make a move. Wolf's Daughter, A Werewolf's Tale, Volume 1. Tsukina is an average high school girl with a supernatural secret, one that even she is unaware of. After an encounter with a man named Hayate, Tsukina begins to realise she's not entirely human. Her great athletic ability, her enhanced sight at night, even the reason she craves raw meat, all comes down to one answer: she's a werewolf. But this reveal leads her to more questions. Who is she really? What does it mean to be a werewolf? and just where will Tsukina's journey of self-discovery lead her? Black Blood. Ethan, a battle-weary cyborg soldier, retreats to a tranquil planet in search of peace. There he meets Mikhail, a gentle botanist whose warm smile and delicate touch seem almost fragile. Ethan finds himself inexplicably drawn to Mikhail, experiencing a restless unease whenever they're together. He longs to touch, to cherish, feelings that are undeniably human. Bewildered by the feelings stirring within him, Ethan begins to question if he truly has a heart after all. From Tokyo Pop, My Contract with the Apothecary Monster Volume 2. In this world, monsters consume a person's lifespan in exchange for granting their every wish. However, Nea's mysterious apothecary monster seems uninterested in consuming hers. Job prospects outside the palace are looking grim. However, thanks to Dino's meddling, Nea would punish him if she knew how to. So instead, Nea attempts to push Dino closer to Prince Adalia, her fiancé. Has Nea wildly misinterpreted Adalia's admiration of Dino, or is there a seed of truth buried somewhere beneath the surface of Adalia's baffled expression? Starcross Volume 2. This is a love story about a king and his knight. In a universe where destiny is literally written in the stars, the two star-crossed souls fight to keep their people and each other safe. Battling rival kingdoms and the internal forces that threaten to tear them apart, the Night-Kissed Knight and his Shining Royal must break free from the shackles of their circumstances to stay together. Will their love shine bright enough, or will it be extinguished before it even begins? My adorable betrothed. Leo and Sui have been engaged since their parents introduced them in childhood, but in the years that followed, they were barely even friends. That is, until much later, when Leo's parents passed away and he was adopted into Sui's family. As the brothers grew closer in adulthood, they could no longer resist their attraction to each other, and yet they remain unwed. Ignoring the pressure from Sui's parents to tie the knot, the two live together in blissful sin. Despite Leo's encouragement, Sui resists the urgency of marriage, hoping to keep his adorable betrothed all to himself just a little longer. SciFier Lost Paradise. This is a spin-off bonus volume of SciFier. Unable to reconcile the truth of their past lives with the tangled tragedy of their present, Lance has pushed himself to the absolute limits of his power as an exorcist, and his body bears the scars of his self-destruction. Called to investigate a new string of serial murders, Lance discovers a connection to the List of Hell, a sinister artifact similar to Gilbert's. With nothing left to lose, Lance dives into the case, and a familiar foe reappears. In the end, can long-lost promises ever be fulfilled? Our Not-So-Lonely Planet Travel Guide Volume 6. Super serious Asahi Suzumura and laid-back, easygoing Mitsuki Sayama might seem like an odd couple, but they made a deal. They'll vacation around the world, and when they get back to Japan, they'll get married. As they travel from country to country, the different people, cultures, and cuisine they encounter begin to bring them closer together. From Square Enix, Always a Catch, How I Punched My Way into Marrying a Prince Volume 3. With everything sorted out at home in Muro, newly engaged Maria is ready to head back to the nation of Rubini, where her fiancé Prince Renato awaits. It should be a quick and easy trip back, but along the way Maria encounters some troubled villagers and hears about a missing girl. Of course, that means she has to stop and help them. Ragnar Crimson Volume 14. Dragon Scourges Ragnar, Nim Hamunim, and Li Ryushi are dispatched to Lugia Mine, where a fragment of the legendary Silver Comet has been found. Despite staying on high alert, they're ambushed by a coalition of superior dragons from the boned and roaring bloodlines. Ragnar may have humiliated some of these foes before, but can he handle the machine dragon who's armed to the teeth with advanced weaponry? Wash It All Away Volume 2. Wakana meets the twins Kuriru and Moruda in the lead up to a summer festival in Atami, but when they find the festival costumes covered in mould, Wakana's sleepless nights might just save the day. Those are most of the releases for the second half of June. I hope there's something there that you want to read. There's quite a few that I definitely am going to pick up. As always, if you want to use the code JAYSMANGA to get an extra 5% off their already discounted prices, feel free to use it. I hope you have a fantastic manga buying month, everyone. Bye!